Hi friends, this is Bilal Haider and this is the fourth part of the video series in which we are learning how Unity Network programming works. Alright? Okay. In this video part we're going to talk about the command attribute. Alright? And before I go and write some code to show you how actually it works, I need to tell you about that attribute first. I mean the theory. Alright, so the command is a function, is a special type of function which on which we will write the attribute command on top of it, and that function is called from a client, but it's executed on the server. Alright, it's a command that a client sends to the server, and then that server calls that function, alright, and execute it there on the client. Alright, so that's the theory. It's a command that a client sends out to the server, and the server then performs that very function. Alright, it executes that very function. Alright, so to make a function of type command, what we do, we'll write a command attribute on top of that function. Alright, and that's make this function a special one because that is a command now. Alright, now one more thing you need to do before you actually use this function. Alright, and that is you have to put cmd before that function. Alright, and writing a command attribute on top of it, that does not make that function a command. Alright, you have to write a cmd before that function. Alright, this is a necessary step that you need to do to make a function a command. Alright, the next thing which we'll do, we'll call this function inside our update function, and we'll save that, and now we'll build and run this game and see what happens. Alright, alright, so it's executed now, and we'll play it here also. And this time we'll host our game from here because I want to show you something. Okay, we hosted a game from here, so this is a host and it's also a client because we are playing from here, and we'll join the game from here. Alright, so this is a client and this is a server and a client. Join the game. Alright, so what you are seeing here, it displayed us these two messages. So show message was called here on our server. So this is a server. Alright, and this is a client. Alright, so it does not display any messages here on our client. Alright, why it happened? Because what this function does, this command does, it actually sends out a command to the server. Alright, from the client. So on this side from here, we were having our local player here. Let's say this was player 2. Alright, this one. So here it did not change the player 1 and player 2 names because that is not synchronized over the net. That we will deal later when we will also deal these color changes. That also does not work. We'll do that later on. But in this video part, what we're doing here, we're learning how this command function works, and that works like this. Okay, let's say this is player 1 and this is player 2. Alright, here because we are a client here, and this is player 2, this player 2 sends a server this call. Okay, it tells the server to execute this command function on the server. All right, so what happens is it came to the server, and this function was executed not here but on our server, and it displayed us this show message was called. All right, so now you're thinking, where the hell this second show message was called message coming from? So where this message is coming from? All right, so as you know that this was a client and a server. All right, so this client sends the message, and because it's the server also, this command sends the message to itself. Like, that's how you grab the concept. All right, so it sends the message to itself, and then it displayed the message here also. Okay, so player 1 displayed its message here, and this second player, it also sends that command to the server to display its message onto the server. So that's why it displayed the message here also. So this client sends a message, sends a command to the server to display the message. It displayed that message, and this client, which is also server, it also sends the command to display the message. So it also displayed this so message was called. All right, let's make it a little bit clear by going back here, and let's clear it out. Let's make it a dedicated server here, and let's join the game, 2 players. All right, okay, so now you can see that we joined there are 2 clients over here. Okay, and both of these clients joined the game. All right, and both of these clients are sending that command to server to display the message on the server. So what are your expectations here? My expectations are that we should see 2 messages on our server. Let's check it out. Yes, so we still see 2 messages here. Although this was only a server this time, we displayed this message, and one client sends out a message to this server, it displayed the message. Second client sends out the signal, sends out that command to display the message, it displayed that message. All right, now let's actually go ahead inside our command, our code actually, and let's do something crazy. Let's say that let's actually not write any condition here, but inside our command function, and let's say that if is server, okay, and is client. Okay, so what we are saying here, this command function will be sent out from the clients. All right, every client will send the message. Okay, it sends out one message from one client, it sends out the second message from the second client. But this show message, when it will be called, it will check if that instance of the game is a server and it's also a client, then only it will display this message. All right, so let's save that, and let's stop this game. Let's build and run. Let's play it. Let's make this a server and a client. All right, and let's play it from here also, and join as a client. Join the game. Join the game. Now see what happens. Okay, now here we were having a client. It sent out that message, okay, to display that message. And here we are seeing two messages here. Show message was called, show message was called. So nothing really changed, okay. But in the next build, we'll make it a dedicated server, okay, and we'll join the game, add 2 players. Now watch what happens. Now 2 players are sending a command to the server, alright. So this is player 1, 2 players are joined, so it is having player 1 and player 2, both of them are sending command to the server to display the message, but the server does not display any message. Why that happened? That happened because although this function was called, but inside we made this simple check, and what this check is doing, it's saying that only display this message if this is a server and it's also a client. But in our case, because this is only a server and it's not a client, although the clients are sending messages to it, but it is not displaying those messages. Alright, so this can come in handy when we want to make a game where we don't want where we make sure that we don't display any messages on the server. Alright, yeah, so this was pretty much it for this command session. I hope you learned it. I mean how you send a command from clients to server, okay, and how we display those messages and do certain tasks on that server. Alright, so this was pretty much all for this video part. I hope to see you in the next video too.